So in this next lecture, we are going to go through now an exciting part of the generating of the automated report, and it's how you deal with what we call scalars or numerical values that are generated in Stata. Okay. So of course, in this chapter, what we're going to call it a population and income distribution in Malawi, where we're going to show the characteristics of the survey responses. So we're going to look at summary statistics of survey responses. What's the per capita income? What's the population? For instance. And then we're also going to show the histogram of the population and income data, and then also look at the probability distribution functions of the population and income data, but also the cumulative distribution functions. Then lastly, we're going to summarize the results of the chapter. Okay, so first we'll go through the summary statistics. The first thing that we do, again, whenever we've closed the document, we now start, putdocx begin. We begin another one, and then we're going to hit, the heading of this will be the 2.0 population and income distribution in Malawi, and then it will have a subheading, heading 2, summary statistics of survey responses, and then everything that comes after that, we want that to be justified. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do first is to look at the summary statistics of the key variables of interest. In this case, we have income, that's the first one, and then we have income per capita, and then we have the population, and then also the household size. Right. Now, when you run, let's run our code first, up to putdocx, so that we have the document opened. So one of the things that we did mention is that when we run certain commands in Stata, for example, summary statistics, in some cases you can also have regression results. They always come in a summary in terms of what we call scalars. Okay, so in this case you have a summary statistics that the income, you have observations that are 11,434, and then the weight, this is the population, which is 18,134,000. That's the population of Malawi that was estimated in the 2019 to 2020 period. And the mean income in this case is about 4 million kwachas. And then that's the standard deviation, and then the minimum is 24,000, and then up to about something like 14 or 140, 14 billion, I think, right? Of course, that could also be an outlier. But when you return a list of this, it will come up with scalars, what we call, like, for example, what is the RN, which is now the sample size, right? And then this is the weighted sum of the population, which is 18 million, and then that's the mean income, the variance of that income, the standard deviation of that income, what's the minimum income, and then what's the maximum income. That's about 139, I think about 13 billion, okay, or 1.3 billion, something like that, right? So the sum, again, this will also give you a sum of all the income there. Now, the importance of these scalars is that you can use them to write a report, okay? And what we're going to do is, because we've put a paragraph, we're going to start a paragraph here to say, I want you to put text, I'm commanding Stata to put text in my report that will start with that, this sentence, that the 5th integrated household survey, which is IHS 5, interviewed and then we put a scalar here, just like the way you do programming in, let's say, Python. You can put a number. In this case, we use string because this is a string, and then we put rn so that it indicates that it interviewed 11,434 households. Okay, and then there's a space here. The idea is that without a paragraph, Stata will know that this statement is also continuing, and then I also put text, use the text format, households with an average income of, and in this case, we're taking the mean income and then we put it in that format. Now, if you don't specify the format of the income variable or number in this case, Stata usually assume that you should place that as an index, right? In terms of putting it as an exponential function, right? Would be in this case like what we have here. It will assume that structure. So normally, what you want to do is to make sure that the whole number is presented, and in this case, you're going to say string mean. But in this case, what we want is that it should be up to, because 9 is a billion, 10 is also more than a billion. You just want to make sure that the full number is displayed here. All right. So we put that, and then we say plus a full stop at the end, so that marks the end of that sentence. Then we continue the same with the income. You can also summarize the income. Okay, let's just run this. Putdocx, right? We write that. It means that we've created that sentence, and then same thing here will happen when you also list the income. The same values or scalars will come up. Here we're just interested in the mean as well. This is the mean per capita income. So the survey registered a real per capita income of so much kwacha, and then the same structure, right? And then we run it. That means that that's a sentence. And then also we can do the same with the population. I could take that, but in this case, I just want to make sure that I can also summarize what's the population number. You could see it's still coming up here as the sum of the population, and then also looking at the minimum in terms of for that particular household, in terms of how we project population values. And we can also do the same, that the reference population for this for the 2019 can just put here IHS 5 2019 to 2020 survey period was, we also put this, and then put that number format. All right, so run that as well, and then what it means is we've also generated that we've also generated that sentence. Similar for the household side, because we know that the household size, if we run this and then return list, the household size, you're looking at 4.7, 2.1, like from 1 to 22. Then we can also do the same, that the IHS5 reported households with an average household size of, we're looking at the mean value, which is about 5.3. In this case, it will be 5.4, because we want to make sure that it's just up to one decimal. But also, if you know that, if there's no cases where you can have a half a person, right? You can also put that as 0, and then, but in this case, you just want to make sure that we're reporting the statistics as per the average. Okay. So again, you just say the IHS5 reported households with an average household size of, the mean, in this case it would be 5.4, and ranging from the minimum 1 to the maximum 22 household members, right? So all this, it's a paragraph. What it means is we can also run it, and then Stata will also add that as a sentence in the report. So we'll continue. We're not going to view this now, but we're going to continue compiling, because we're looking at section by section, and then we can only save it at the end. But next, now we have to start now generating the graphs. For example, in this case, we're going to look at the histogram as the next lecture.